Welcome back to the SCIF. I'm Matt, that's Stu. We got a packed show for you tonight. We are on YouTube, Rumble, and Odysee. You can see our email is below, TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com. If you have anything you want to sound off on, please reach out to us there on anything. What do we got? What do we got planned for tonight, Stu?
Well, I think we're going to start off with, some mostly fiery but peaceful discussion.
All right, nice.
About things that aren't happening. You see these pictures, you see these images, you see the video, but it's not really happening. It's all exaggerated. We're going to talk about how the Republicans are exaggerating everything that's going on in California for their own benefit.
Oh, that shit's mostly peaceful.
It is. Yeah. It is mostly peaceful. I mean, if you take away the looting, the Molotov cocktails, the setting on fire of the Waymo vehicles, the throwing of concrete blocks off of overpasses onto passing cars. I mean, aside from that, it's peaceful.
Fireworks at cops and horses. Yeah. Mostly peaceful. Yeah.
Mostly peaceful. Yeah. And it's just exaggeration. We're going to talk about that. We've got, again, more of these liberal trust fund, marry into money people that have no idea what to do and just throwing money at liberal causes because I think they're I guess in a polite way to put it, mentally deficient.
You're talking about that horrible BI itch from Walmart, right?
Yeah. Now, marry into money and then
the family. Married into the family, by the way. Yeah.
I don't know. But most of the discussion tonight is going to center around California and different aspects of that and what's going on, who's doing what, and what may happen after that. But that's the vast majority of it because it's been going on what now? This is day 3 or day 4. It started over the weekend. So that's what we're going to look at, what we're going to talk about, that sort of thing. You sent me a story of apparently Al-Qaeda's climbing out of their caves and, talking shit again about that fellow Islamists need to rise up and do
while
bad
these
things
riots are
in other parts of the world.
While these riots are kicking off, so isn't that funny that this
they're trying to ride the coattails and exacerbate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but it's coordinated, dude. The people, these riots aren't organic. These are coordinated. There's a big money trail of NGOs and deep staters that are behind it. The concrete blocks are being placed around the city, big pallets of them ordered from big hardware outlets, all of this stuff. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to push this forward in other cities. And you're starting to see it right now because you're seeing them little protests springing up in Chicago and New York as we speak. And I've been told maybe Atlanta as well, Stu. So,
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's this is, we kind of predict. Anybody who follows this stuff, this has been predicted that this will happen. Now, there's some positives to this too. These illegals that are out there involved in this stuff, you're getting them all in one place, So, we'll get in more detail as we get into this story, and whatever story Stu wants to start with, we're going to go with. And as usual, we're going to jettison YouTube here shortly. For those that are joining us on YouTube.
This here, Matt. Just these are all cities where those protests are planned for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah. So right now the big ones are obviously Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, And I think Atlanta. So the red, what does the red represent right there?
The red is well, I know that looks like Atlanta.
Chicago is the one up north there.
Yeah, that looks like what, New York right there.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what that one is. Maybe Raleigh. That looks like North Carolina there.
Could be. Yeah.
North Carolina or South Carolina. They kind of come together right there. It doesn't really say here. I just found the map just to show it. But they're calling for more than 1,800 rallies across the country.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them in Florida. That's not going to go over well.
No, the nonsense in California is not going to go over well in Florida and South Georgia. Not even a little bit.
Nope. No. They can plan that shit all they want.
But these things here, Matt. This is what the Democrats would tell you. Oh, it's grassroots. It's the people. No, it's not. These are paid activists. They're paid organizers. This is their job. Is just to foment this discontent and these issues. That's their job. That's what they get paid for.
And here's another. If you don't believe that, look how the media is acting. Look how they're just completely self-flagellation out there when they know the same shit they pulled during the George Floyd riots. Yeah. Shit's burning and blowing up in behind them, and they're trying to tell you that it's mostly peaceful and it's over-exaggerated. You know, as you're seeing concrete blocks being dropped from overpasses. This is unreal. I saw a Telemundo van that was completely vandalized, and they were on top of it, smashed the windshield in, painted it all up. You know, death to America, ICE.
No, but what happened, Matt? You didn't hear Pelosi? She explained why. These people, they just got caught up in the exuberance of the moment. That's all.
Yes. And you know, and then Donald Trump had to bring in the National Guard, and you just had people that were peacefully just watching a car burn. And this is a guy who was saying this, like a local news reporter in Los Angeles, peacefully watching a car burn. And Donald Trump had to really instigate things by bringing in the National Guard. So I think, to be honest, I think the response has been way too flaccid, to be honest with you.
Yes.
These people are out there. You drop a concrete brick off of an overpass, that is attempted murder. That is,
there was actually, and when I saw this, I remembered a case where some kids did that, and I think it killed the people in the car. Because again, I mean, you figure that car is driving. Granted, these weren't, but you know, cars are driving, even them at 35, 40 miles an hour, and you've got a 10, 12, 15 pound cement block that busts through the windshield. That's doing some damage.
Well, cement blocks closer to 40 pounds, 50 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
You know? So, these people need to be smashed as far as I'm concerned. They need to all be arrested. Charged federally, because local ain't gonna do shit. No. You're also seeing a breakdown because of the defund the police in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, people don't. They took hundreds of millions of dollars out of law enforcement during the George Floyd Summer of Love, and they don't have jails that really can hold people. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
Well, I mean, I guess the silver lining in all this is, but the problem is the people there are too dogmatic in their mindset and their brainwashing to understand it. They're getting exactly what they asked for. But they're going to turn around and it's going to be Trump's fault. That's going to be their mindset.
Nobody's buying any of it. Nobody's buying any
I'm
of
saying
that.
Like the people of California are going to firmly believe.
California, it's kind of like the whole deal with America. In California, there's a shitload of based people. Okay.
Oh yeah. They're just outnumbered by the big cities.
Yeah. They're so inundated with the illegals in that shit. You hear this Karen Bass talking about Angelenos, right? And we're a city of immigrants. Well, why are you a city of immigrants? Isn't that an American city? Hey, it's going to be a city of Americans here soon. Period. Amen. And these people need to fricking go. The country wants these people fricking gone, not even by a close margin, by a large margin. Okay? We are not on your side. We were on the side of law and order. We're on the side of America. We're on the side of Donald Trump. So these people are going to get a lesson. I think they're waiting. They're doing things just right because you've got the Marines now in training, getting riot training as we speak. And you've got the Guard out there that does riot training on a regular basis. And they're going to go in with force when the time dictates that comes. And if some of these riots kick off in these other big cities and everything, Trump will not allow, the American people will not allow these people to burn our country down again. It's done.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I hope they're doing right now is finding out and tracing back who is actually funding all of this. We can throw out names that we suspect, right? But I hope they're doing that. Any one of these NGOs that are funding these need to be defunct. You have to go after the leadership of these NGOs. Okay. And all of these people that are funding this in the United States and outside the United States. And also you can see, as a story we're going to talk about later, with an Al-Qaeda leader, calling for people to rise up. It turns out that there are hundreds of terrorists we brought in during those flights where we left our dogs and other Americans back in Afghanistan. Isn't that surprising? We brought in a bunch of terrorists.
How many came across the border as Biden was allowing millions of people across? We have no clue. I mean, you and I did the math on one show where, I mean, even if it was like I think it was, we went down to a half or even 1/4% of the people that came across have ill intent. It's thousands of people.
Oh, hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Okay.
Right. But I mean, even if you just take it down and say, oh, that's not everybody, they just want a better life. Okay. Half of 1% of the people that came across were still thousands of people in this country that mean us harm. That's unacceptable.
Yeah. I mean, so if you had 30 million people come across the border, okay, which is probably realistic because of the gotaways and all of that, right? So if you had 30 million people come across the border, and 5% of that 30 million, right, were cartel, terrorist, connected or whatever.
Well, Matt, look at that. Here it is. 0.5% of 30 million is 150,000. So we'll say the 29.5 million of the people have all they want to do is grow sunflowers and paint white picket fences. That's still 150,000 people allowed into this country.
A half percent, and I think you're way underestimating the percentage that are coming, especially when you're considering cartel associated. So,
I'm just doing it to make a point. So it's not everybody. Okay, you're right. Okay, I'll take that argument at face value. 150,000 people is still unacceptable.
Yeah. So this whole thing is a complete disaster. I want the military and the federal government to get in there. At some stage, it's if this continues to ramp up like it did in 2020, it's going to be a true insurrection. And at that true insurrection, that's when the military will go in. And once the National Guard is one thing, okay. Once you start sending in legitimate military troops, right, to deal with this is going to be put down really fast. It's going to be, and you got to take the gloves off, man. You have got to take the gloves off, and you need to start charging people with felonies. Okay, so these little college students and shit, charge them with felonies on a federal level, so they cannot get out of it out in Los Angeles. Now, so
yeah, again, hey, sorry you decided to ruin your life. I mean, you're an adult now. Guess what? You've been treated and handed things and treated as if you were special your entire life. Guess what? Decisions have consequences. Actions have consequences. Special. Here, meet yours.
Fuck around and find out. You're about to find out. So
we should have a whole lot of people be coming up on that find out stage. We really should.
So I think the people, I mean, I know the vast majority of Americans support Trump in this, and they're not putting up with this bullshit anymore. They want these illegals. You talk about a target-rich environment for ICE. Illegals are going to be everywhere. Gather them all up, and then arrest the little shit college students and charge them with felonies. Period.
Well, let's bounce off of YouTube so we can discuss some of this stuff in more detail, because I've got a list for you you're going to love.
Perfect.
So we're going to bounce off of YouTube. We've got a link below to Rumble. If you find us on YouTube, please come over to Rumbles where the rest of the show is. We're going to go on for about another 45 minutes or so, depending on if Matt goes off on a rant or not.
Why are we popping smoke here on YouTube?
Because YouTube sucks.
YouTube sucks. It doesn't enable us to speak freely.
They don't.
And I think anybody who's on YouTube that watches cool channels that have to do with politics, fishing, outdoor shit, shooting, and you name it, they're all harassed by YouTube. So
yeah,
that's why we're going over to Rumble. So please come and join us at Rumble if you haven't, and take part in the conversation.
All right. See you guys over.